Citadel versus the SEC. The court case is underway. It will have a continuation going on tomorrow. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, but before we do, I want to say a special shout out thank you to my Patreon supporters. I really do appreciate it, everybody. Double shout out thank you to RemAG for being a higher tiered level supporter. And also, I do have a link in the description. So if you guys would like to become a Patreon supporter for as little as $1, get your name up on the board. There's a link there. I'm not a financial advisor. Everything I'm sharing is my own opinion. It's my own research. And I highly encourage you guys to go do your own research as well. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the charts here first, very briefly. The price action, as you guys can see, when it opened up, it just took a bit of a hit right off the bat. And that's not even including the hit that it took during pre-market. Take a look at this image right here. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Soon as pre-market opened from 36.94, boom, all the way down to 33.91. Just a massive drop. There wasn't a ton of volume in that exact candle. And over the course of the day, as you guys can actually see, ended up being very mediocre. 30.51 million for volume. Now, you could say by comparison to some of the other days, the last like 4 trading days, yeah, it is higher. But you look at other big positions that we have, right? October 25th, we have, oh, this is on the 15-minute chart. My bad. Let me go ahead and move that over again. Okay, so yeah, as you guys can see, the volume was quite low. And in comparison to several of the other days here, it's still very, very low. We got bigger movement that took place back on like September 30th. And there's just a lot of other days that were way, way higher, especially if we zoom out like this. And you can also see the RSI is pretty low. It's not quite at the median zone. It is subpar underneath that. There's plenty of opportunity for an upswing. So it's not considered overbought or oversold by any means on the daily. But there's so many different leading indicators suggesting of market manipulation that like the RSI at this point, especially for AMC, just doesn't really feel that reliable. It did close out overall for the day, though, up 0.63%. So that was pretty impressive. As far as for the petition goes for banning of the payment for order flow and suspending dark pools, that is now up to 54,052 votes. I myself have signed this. I will include a link in the description once again. So if you want to help support this cause, the more of us that speak up, the better our chances are of it actually making a change. Okay? So this is what's largely going on with the court case. I don't know if they're going to be mentioning that in the hearing for tomorrow, anything like that. But, you know, everyone is trying to be very vocal. So taking a look at some of the other key metrics here, we can see that for available shares to borrow, we do have 750,000 shares, 6.8 million ETF shares available to borrow. The shares available to borrow number has gone down. It's about the same for the ETF shares. We can also see for the fee borrow rate, it went up at 1.0% or just 1%. And then at the very end towards the day, it dropped down to 0.7%. Calls out of the money, 126,330. So keep in mind that last week, there were 250,000 call options that expired out of the money. 250,000. That's not good. That money for short-term call options, guess where that money goes? Goes to the market makers. It just gives them more fuel to continue doing the things that they do. And is this very surprising right here? Guess what? Trading data for the dark pools, not available. Nothing to show. Nothing to see here, ladies and gentlemen. Other reported sources are still indicating approximately about 70 to 75% of the trades are occurring through the dark pool on a daily basis. So we've been seeing very consistently 60% when this has been reporting. Why this is not reporting, it's just crazy. It says starting August 26, our source stopped reporting data. We switched short data to solely FINRA from that date. So I guess FINRA is not reporting it, which is very surprising. I don't know why they wouldn't be. And we could also see position is for the dark pool, 14.7 million AMC shares. For dollars, that's $578 million worth. That number seems to be going down just a little bit since the last day. And so taking a look over here, AMC just announced that they're adding closed captioning to their movies. This is pretty cool. Check this out. Adding closed captioning to 240 locations. From what other people are saying, it's open captioning, which is way better. Per NPR, the world's largest movie theater chain is adding on-screen captions at hundreds of U.S. locations in an effort to make moviegoing more accessible. AMC Theaters announced that 240 of its locations in more than 100 U.S. markets are adding open captioning to certain showings. The change took effect last week and is aimed at improving the viewing experience for people who have hearing loss and for whom English is not their first language. Every AMC market with at least 2 theaters will also make some open caption showtimes available weekly for all new releases. This is very good news. Moving on to more good news. Breaking. Sumitomo Mitsui Trust Holdings filed another 13F today disclosing ownership of 1,412,110 shares of AMC valued at over $53 million. Cost base of $38 per share. Ignore the FUD, follow the money. AMC not leaving, right? So this is very bullish. It's nice to see some other big institutions that are being identified here as large AMC holders. During the course of this hearing, the Citadel lawyer admitted to rerouting retail orders to dark pools. This isn't something that's surprising to us. We already knew that this was occurring. You have Citadel Connect, which handles a lot of that stuff. And it's legal. They're allowed to do that, but that's part of the problem, and that's why we want things to be changed. But on record, the Citadel lawyer has acknowledged the fact that they are doing this. That means when you send your money in, you say, hey, I want these shares of AMC off the New York Stock Exchange, just for example, it's the lit market, right? You want to have a legitimate ownership of the shares and not just a digital little number that says that you have it, but you don't literally have it. So that's what's happening right now is for a lot of traders, when they use this payment for order flow type system, you are being told that you own these shares, but the money that you spent isn't actually going to those shares. It's going to Citadel, and then they're doing with it things through the dark pool, which works at different price levels than the lit market. And you understand this is where things just don't really make sense, and they're not fair. As far as for the actual live stream for the hearing, there were over 4,000 people. One reported source was suggesting that there was about 8,000 people for it, which is absolutely amazing. It's nice to see that there's so much community support behind it for sure, right? But keep in mind that there were a lot of other YouTubers that were live streaming the event, or the hearing itself, I should say, on their own personal channels. And by doing so, this number was dramatically higher than what you're actually seeing it, right? This is only relative to what was natively on the direct live stream for the hearing itself. And then lastly, this is some really cool information. Cat Striker, who organized for that big banner to be flown over, that, you know, the whole like Ken Griffin lied, that Ken Griffin Citadel scandal, that kind of thing. So Cat Striker was in charge with that. This says, these are so great right in front of the SEC headquarters. Citadel not retail. Ken Griffin can't silence us. Citadel scandal, ban Citadel. So the first image that we have right here is Citadel is not retail. And then the next image that you guys can see is we want market equality. Ken Griffin can't silence us. And then the choice is yours, and it shows the red pill and the blue pill. And then ban dark pools, get informed, ban Citadel, how to help, write to your Congress, right? So absolutely awesome. I don't think it really helps too much that there are people, now that I look at this image a little bit closer, you guys can see that there are right above my head here, this says like SEC bureaucrats, SEC racist. SEC is like them trying to yell at the SEC to make the SEC feel, I don't know. I don't get what that's related to with this. Maybe it's something that I'm not really like grasping onto, but the thing is that we want the SEC to win this court case because we don't want I don't want, personally, sorry, I can't speak on behalf of you. All right. I do not want the dark pools. I know a lot of other people don't want the dark pools. A lot of other people don't want the payment for order flow. A lot of people feel that Citadel does not speak on behalf of the retail investors. And what they're trying to do is not actually in the retail investors' best interest. It's in their own personal best interest. So again, I'll have the link to the petition in the description if you guys want to check that out. I want to say a shout out to all of you guys for being supporters on this channel. I really do appreciate it. And I do have referral links in the description. If you want to get free cryptocurrency or free stock, feel free to check those out. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up like button. It does help us out with the YouTube search algorithm. Click the bell icon because I go live sometimes, and I will see you in the next episode.